with another tutorial today, and in this video demonstrations what I'm going to show you guys how you can actually set up some billing alerts on your AWS account. Billing alerts are really important in your day-to-day life, especially when you are new to the AWS account and you don't know about how much each service going to cost you on Amazon web service. So it is always good to place some sort of a billing alerts that if you're going over certain threshold values, you can get some email alerts or SMS alerts that hey, XYZ name that you are going over the certain amount and you should either stop your instances or you should be need to be worried about that you are under the budget or over the budget. So in this video what I'm going to show you, we will going to create some SNS topic, which is a simple notification service, and this video demonstration is only for the beginners. So if you are experienced and highly well experienced with the AWS services, then you maybe know about these things, but I'm trying to come up with some of the more solutions how I can actually demonstrate to the beginners who are actually starting their journey in AWS and wanted to learn about, but they don't want to get overcharged of these things. So Amazon provided a 200 plus services, and one of the services is called simple notification service. This is a service which is used for creating sending some SNS alerts or the subscriptions to the endpoints, like such as via email or SMS or from other ways, even from Slack if you can integrate via Lambda. So what we're going to do first, but before if you don't know where you can find your billings, only if you have created using your root account, or if you are working for a company and your company has already authorized you to see their billing dashboards, under this you can go and navigate and you can see all the billing alerts and invoices and everything. So I'm not going to show in my company's account, but if you go over here and if you do have the access of your IAM user or the role, you're able to access and see about the each services and how much it's costing you. So without wasting any further time, let's begin and create the SNS topic. So you can either search it from this search console bar, or you can actually just navigate from the services. This is the new console which I'm referring to. If you are using the old console while watching this video, so maybe you have a different interface than me. And now you can see there are already 3 topics are already created. We don't need to worry about these topics if you don't have anything. One thing you should be always keep mindful, SNS topic is actually based on the region based. So what does it mean is, if you are deploying any service in for example in Sydney, and you're setting the SNS alert on in Virginia, which is a US East, then you may or may not, you definitely not going to receive any alerts, because you are running all the services which is costing you money on Sydney regions, but you are sending the alert, or you set the alert on the US East, which is completely different region. So be mindful of this thing. So set the alert where you are going to run your services, or you're trying to test it out your applications or something like that. And it is recommended from my side, always prefer to go nearest server to you. It might going to cost you a little bit more than the actual from the US East regions, but yeah, it gives you more reliability, as well as it more give you in better performance, and it's have less latency issues. Okay, let's back to the topic, and let's start clicking on the create topic. And now we will have to provide the SNS topic name. So when so Amazon provides you 2 different types of ways where you can actually go for FIFO or standard way of sending the SNS, and we will choose the SNS, which is a standard way of providing the name. And sorry, now what we're going to do, we will just going to provide the SNS topic name, and I'm gonna say Sharmio SNS topic. That's my name of the company, and then just SNS topic name. You can put any name, whatever you like. It's just the name of the topic which is going to be shown on the topic sections, but it's not going to be over email. Now this display name would be important, because that's name will going to be seen by the email or the SMS where you're sending the alert. So we will want it something good so that we can be easily recognize what these alerts are. So I'm just going to say Sharmio billing alert via SNS. You can put whatever the name you would like to have. It's just easy for me to recognize what these alerts are. So we just creating one topic in SNS under the Virginia region, because I want to take out all the charges, the alerts, so that I'm not get overcharged for any services which I'm going to use under in Virginia. And now it's just asking me if you want to go for some customer manage key for the KMS is the key management service, which is another service from AWS. This service is actually make sure that your whatever the transmissions of your messages going from source to the destinations are always encrypted at rest, and that thing is actually handled by Amazon using the key management service, which is KMS. You can also actually just type KMS and probably first or second link you will find here. So it depends upon if you wanted a certain encryption of your messages or not. It's completely optional as they mentioned, but in my demonstration I'm going to include it, and I'm going to use the customer default CMK, which is the customer master key. You can actually create your own KMS keys and then you can actually use them. It's completely optional, up to you guys. And now it's in terms of access policies, what access policy you would like to have. Currently for the demonstration of this video, I would not going to touch access policy, and we will go for the default options they have provided. But if you like and you are well experienced with the JSON editor and the policy structure which allowed what actions you have provided for your SNS topic in terms of providing the public actions or deleting topic subscriptions, you can actually modify it and remove some of the ones, like if you don't want to be deleted to be provided to the topic owner, then you can remove it. So in this access policies we will not going to make any changes, and encryption is already enabled. Now in delivery retry policy, this is an also optional parameter which Amazon provides you to select, like it's just about like how many tries you want to send. And now this is a really critical thing, I believe. It depending upon what sort of alerts you're trying to send. If the alerts are not critical, maybe you just reduce the number of tries. But if you think certain emails or the alerts are really critical for your production workloads or some things, so maybe you require to customize some of the retry policies according to your needs or towards your workloads. But if you are happy with the default values, you can just stick with the default values. It completely depends upon person to person, as well as towards the workloads or the productions you are the workload you are deploying. And this also gives you the retry back of functions, which functions you want to go with. All the details are they also provided in the documentations, but just for the sake of this video, let's not make things complex and go for the easy way. And after you provided the selecting the retry policies, and then it will also give you an optional if you want to go for some logging delivery streams, like for storing the logs. But in this video we will not going for storing any logs anywhere, and I'm just going to include some of the tag. What is the name of the service? So I'm just going to see what name I'm providing. So the tags are really important, I believe, like in your day-to-day life, especially when you are working in a cloud as a cloud engineer or a DevOps engineer, because it can actually help you finding and allocating your resources, where these resources are deployed under which environment, under which region, and how much, if you wanted to find out the cost of the services you are using. So it's really helpful. It's only going to be helpful using the resource editor or certain tools when you are using certain tags which can actually help out. So I'm just going to add a tag out, like some of the tags, like and this is for my testing environment. And I'm going to add one more tag, which is the department, and I'm going to say this is an IT department, or you can say whatever the department it's you have. And I'm going to also provide it the region where I'm deploying the stuff, and I'm gonna go for in Virginia. Currently these tags are fine. If I require more, I'll gonna add it according to my needs. And everything looks good right now, so we will just going to create the topic. So now the first step is cleared. We have created the Amazon simple notification topic, but this topic is just created. This is an empty topic. It does not contain any subscriptions or the endpoint where this will actually going to hit. So once you create the topic, then you will have to actually create subscription under that topic. Now you can see currently this is my topic which I created, and it's giving us a green that you can actually see everything looks good. Now we just have to create a subscription. We will going to click on the subscription, and you can see it provided the topic area of the topic, and then it is asking us what type of endpoint you want to subscribe. So Amazon supports like different endpoints like Kinesis, SQS, which is a simple queue service, Lambda, email, JSON, HTTP, HTTPS, platform application endpoint, or SMS. So for this demonstration, I'm gonna go and select the protocol for email. You can also go for the SMS as well, but it might going to charge you some money by the Amazon, and it also going to depend upon which region are you deploying, because I believe Amazon SMS notification is not available in all the regions. So you have to be careful when you are trying to creating some certain alerts on certain numbers or certain topics with the subscriptions. Anyway, so let's now we have selected the protocol, and what I'm gonna do, provide the endpoint is nothing, it's just the where this email should be send it to. So I'm going to provide my company email, which is Sharma@sharmio.com. So this is one of the email address which I'm going to receive. I wanted to receive all my billing alerts. So now in terms of subscription filter policy or redrive policy for dead letter queue, what is a dead letter queue and how should be actually using them, I can come up with some advanced videos. Since this is a beginner level video, I don't want to make things complex, so I'm just going to disable it for now, just for the sake of this video. And we will going to create the subscriptions. So now, as you can see, we have created the topic, SNS topic, and then we have created the subscription. Once you created the subscription, Amazon will going to send an test, or you can say confirmation email, that you actually own that email address. If you don't own, then you will not able to receive all the billing alerts. So as you can see, the subscription is now currently in pending status. So it's waiting for pending confirmation, because Amazon from the no reply @sns.aws.com.au have sent me an alert saying that, hey, we would try to send you all the alerts, but before that we will like you to verify that you are the actual owner of this Sharmio@sharmio.com, so that the billing or any sort of alerts don't go to the wrong person. So this is my Sharmio account, and we can right now, like I can see. So if you remember, that's the name, display name, which we have created. You can customize the name of your subject, and I can again show you where this name is actually provided. So under this one which we created just right now is the Sharmio SNS topic, and you can see this is the display name which I have created. If you have the option to change the display name to like a SNS1 or something, you can do that, and you can save. The next email alert will going to come with the same one, including the one in the end, and I can actually publish one message just to show how it's going to look. So I'm just sending a test message just to show you the display name is the important things which you will going to notice on your email address. Anyway, once you the email you receive, you have to confirm the subscriptions. Once you confirm the subscriptions, you will receive like subscription is confirmed from the Amazon Web Services team, and then you can go back and go to your pending status. You can just refresh your browser, or just go back to the topic and come back again. Then you will see the status from pending confirmation to be green, as it will going to say confirmed, which means everything's good, everything is all up and ready, we don't have to do anything else. And let's go back and see, do we have received any alert or not right now, because we didn't set anything. So what we're going to do, So our SNS topic with the subscription is all ready, and we have already created the endpoint where we want to receive all the billing alerts. Now what we will going to do, we will go to the CloudWatch. CloudWatch it's another service from Amazon for watching your resources which you are deploying under different services, like for EC2, S3, anything whichever which going to cost you some money, and you want to put some CloudWatch metrics on it. Maybe you see different dashboards than me. It completely depend upon how many alarms or the dashboards or custom dashboards you have created on your AWS account under each region. And you also notice this is also not a global service. This is also deployed under each of the. So make sure your CloudWatch as well as your SNS topic belongs to the same region, and you should set them under the same region where you are deploying your resources. If you are working on Hong Kong, Mumbai, Singapore, Sydney regions, don't set up alarm in US regions, because then what will happen that your resources, maybe you getting more money being charged, but you will don't get alerts, and you will think why I'm not getting an alert, because you have set the alarms for US region, but you are using and deploying resources in another region. So be careful and mindful of that. So anyway, so now you can see there are different parameters and the choices you have from the sidebar. What we're going to do, we will going click on the alarm options, and we will going to click on all alarms. Maybe you see empty, or maybe you already created some alarms in the past, but we will going to create alarm option. And now we will just have to select the metric, what metric we would like to pass on. There are multiple metrics options which is provided by the Amazon itself, and we are not interested in all of them. We are interested in setting certain billing amounts. So under the billing, now you can see there are 47 metrics are available, 27 here, 2 of them here, 17 by service, and total estimate charge. So we will go for the total estimate charge, which is the actual amount of charge which will be going to be cost us on the in Virginia region if we're going to deploy certain resources, like for example EC2, RDS for resource for database or something like that. So I'm gonna select this one, and now I'm selecting this metric. Everything looks good. By default my currency is in USD, but if you want you can change it to AUD or whatever the accepted currency by the Amazon. Now in terms of statistics, Amazon also provide different statistics options, like you want to be calculated as a maximum, you want to be taken average, sum. It's going to completely depend upon your use case what statistics you want to go for it. I'm happy with the maximum at this case. And in terms of the period interval, like how frequently you want to be take the maximum for the statistics, it is recommended from the AWS itself that you should be wait at least for 6 hours. Even if you try to reduce, it will start giving you warnings or something that it is only a period greater than 60s is supported for the metrics which we have selected. So let's just put back to at least 1 hour just for the and you can see it again giving us the warning here that your billing alarm may be set up incorrectly. To make it work as expected, please at least go for with the statistics maximum, because we have selected the maximum statistics. It should be recommended us to go for 6 hour. So let's just go for 6 hour. Everything looks good. And now in terms of providing the conditions, like what is the threshold type you want to go for, you want to go for anomaly detection, or you want to go for just a static one. We will go for a static one because we are not doing something anomaly detections which is going for outside the of the band or something like that. So let's go for the standard one, which is the static. And now whenever the estimate charges, we will go for greater than equal, and I'm going to provide in only for just say 100 Australian dollar. So I'm setting up the alarm on my total estimate charges for every 6 hour. If my charges is going over $100 anytime, over a month, over a day, any time, it should set an alert to my email address which I provided via SNS. So we have just provided the condition for any, if the my total estimate charge goes over greater slash equal over 100 Australian dollar, then what we're going to do, we will going to trigger an alarm, and that alarm is going to be triggered from the SNS which we just created earlier. And now this alarm is asking us what SNS topic you want to use. We will going to use the existing one which we just created, which is the Sharmio SNS topic. And you can see it already detected my email endpoint because we have set it up the subscription protocol with the email, and this is my email. We are not doing setting in the alerts for EC2 instances or certain like options like this, so we don't need to worry about auto scaling actions or system manager at this stage. We will just click on next, and then we will going to provide the name of the CloudWatch alarm. So I'm going to say this is Sharmio, the name of my company, CloudWatch, and then we will just going to provide billing alarm. This name is just only for you. It is not going to be used under the email address or something, so we don't need to worry about. And then you can provide some descriptions about like what this alarm is using for, and I could say sending the total estimate charges over in Virginia region, right? So I have just set everything looks good. You can preview all your changes and the things you have provided. When everything looks good to you, just create an alarm. When you create an alarm, it takes a little bit time to get the data about the things which you are asking for. So you can actually see I just created one Sharmio CW billing alarm, and you can see it is the state is insufficient data because it's actually collecting all the data so that it's actually get into certain into action. So currently we don't have any data, so you may have to require a wait a little bit for like 4 or 5 minutes or maybe 10-15 minutes depending upon which region you are deploying and how much quickly this your CloudWatch alarm can actually grab certain data and start getting the status. So once you get certain data, then you will probably going to see the metric alarm from insufficient to the okay state. And if certain threshold is passed, like as I said, for $100 Australian dollar, so if my threshold is already passed, in that case, then we will get an alert here about our billing alert saying like, hey, that your amount is going over the price you have set. So you start looking into the resources you're deploying under and Virginia region. So that's it from this video demonstration. I hope you guys like this video and understand completely about like how CloudWatch alarms are set up and how SNS topic works. This is a complete tutorial for the beginners who have little or no experience at all with the AWS. And from this video I would like to show you guys like how you can actually able to set certain alarms. Otherwise, what will happen in the end, if you are using certain resources for deploying your servers or trying to deploy your applications, you maybe get so much charge on the money that you can't afford as a student especially. Anyway, all good. Thanks to you guys for watching and listening me over this video, and hope I'm going to come with more videos soon. Thank you. Bye bye.